December is the nice time to enjoy Geminid Meteor Showers. Unfortunately, I've been hit with clouds. Hopefully they will be cleared in the coming days. In the meantime, I decided to recreate the showers in Unity 6. Now the following video is not exactly a tutorial. I've recorded myself without any preparation, so the effect might not be game ready, but I think you will enjoy this regardless. Okay, I have an empty scene. Now first I will create a new shader graph. Let's call it URP Lid Shader Graph. I will call it Meteor. Then I will create a material. I will call it Meteor Mat. Then in my scene, I will create a new quad. And apply my material to it. Okay, the very first thing I want here is flares, so basically a cross like this. And for that, I will use UVs. And I want my UVs origin at the middle of my quad, so I'll go tiling and offset node. And then let's set minus 0.5 in the offset. I have the origin at the middle. Now I will multiply its X and Y together, so first I will split it. Then take its X, read it into multiply, and multiply it with my Y. So here I will have positive values here, and here I will have negative values. So let's use absolute of that. So here I will have cross like this, and I can control its thickness by multiplying some values here. Let's go 200. And now I want inverse of this, and for that I will use 1 minus node. And in the 1 minus node, I will also have negative values, which I don't really want. So I'll just clamp the values at 0. So let's use maximum node. So maximum of input and 0. And now I want to control the size of the flare as well. And for that, I'll just use my UV and feed it into the length node. And then I will use smooth step. Let's set some values here. Let's go 0.3 and 0.1. And then I'll multiply it with this flare. Okay, now I want to rotate this, so for that I'll use rotate UV node. And then use that output instead. And now I can rotate it with this rotation. It is kind of messed up because the center is set to 0.5, 0.5. Let's set it to 0, 0. And now I can rotate it just fine. Now let's rotate this over time. So time. And I will multiply this time with some value to control the speed. Let's go 0.5 for now. And then use it as rotation. And now I have this rotating flare. Now I want one more set of flares, so I will just duplicate all this. Now I want to rotate it in the opposite direction, so here I will go minus 0.5. And I want this flare to look slightly different, so here let's go 2000. Actually here let's try to go 1000 as well. And let's make it slightly bigger, so 0.5 maybe. And then let's just add these two together. Actually, you know what? This doesn't look cool at all. Okay, so okay, let's not rotate it at all. Let's delete. And instead of rotating this over time, let's just rotate it 45 degrees. Okay, this looks a lot better. Okay, now I also want a glowing core. For that, I'll just use this length node. So let's feed it into the white node. And I'll divide the length with some smaller numbers. So let's try 0.02. That's 0.001. Actually 0.01. And then again use another smooth step to control the size of it as well. And multiply these two together. Let's just adjust this edge too. Yep, this looks a lot better. And let's just add this on top of this one as well. Yep. And then I'll just simply use it into the base color or emission actually. And set the base color to 0. And for transparency, let's open up the graph inspector. In the graph setting, first set the surface type to transparent. And here I'll just set the blending mode to additive. And this blending mode additive means whatever my background color is, my meteor's color will be added on top of that. So that's additive blending mode in a nutshell. Okay, in the scene, my quad is looking like this. So let's just set the material to onlit. And instead of using this as emission, let's feed it into the base color. And before I do that, let's multiply it to control the intensity. And I want to control this intensity from the inspector. So let's go a new float parameter or property, I should say. Let's call it intensity. Set the default value to 1, drag it in and feed it here, and then use it into the base color. Let's save my shader. So now it looks a lot better. Actually, let's just increase the intensity a bit. Yep. And this is, by the way, the same logic I've used in the Starfield video that I made using Godot. Alright, now I'm going to use this as a particle. And I'm not going to have a bunch of particles at any given time, so it doesn't really matter if I use particle systems or VFX graph. So first I'll just delete this quad, and then I'm going to create Godot particle system. Okay, now first thing is I want my custom shader here. So in the renderer, I'll just assign my meteor math. Then let's change the shape to box. And I'm going to make a box very big on the x-axis. Let's just reset the rotation. Set it to 100 and minus 50. Let's just set 10 as a rotation. Alright, now I'm going to set very short lifetime, so random between two constants, 0.5 and 1.5 maybe. And start speed, I'm going to set very high speed, so 80 and 100. Then let's randomize the start size as well. Let's try, sorry about the traffic. Okay, let's try 1 and 5. Nah, it's too big. 1 and 0.5. And that will do. And I'm going to set some orangey start color. excuse me. And let me just set the intensity a little bit higher. That'll do. Now I want to fade in and out the particles, so for that I'm going to enable this color over lifetime module. And let's set the color. I'll just keep the color white, but going to set the transparency. Okay. And let's set the rotation over lifetime as well. Then between two constants, minus 60 and 60. And I'm also going to randomize the start rotation to 0 and 90. Okay, then let's enable this trails module. And seems like I need to create another material for trails as well, so for the type I'm going to set universal render pipeline particles and lit. Then I'm going to set the surface type transparent, and I'm going to set the blending mode to additive, and that'll do. Then in the renderer, I'm going to assign the trail material as well. Okay, now in the trails module, let's set its lifetime. Let's try 0.2 and 0.3. It's too big. 0.1. And 0.05. And I don't want to destroy my trails with particles. And I'm going to set the width. And I want my trail to get thinner at the end as well, so let's set curve. Let's use this. And I'll adjust the curve a bit. Mm, 0.08. Let's adjust this color over lifetime transparency. And let's set the emission to 0.2. And let's just speed the entire thing up, I guess. Let's try simulation speed 2. Let's just see it in the game window. Yep, looks cool. And now I'm going to slap an HDRI on the skybox to make the effect more cooler. Let me know if you like this new raw format. I've done this just to break assumptions of some of you about me that I know everything. That is simply not true. Hopefully I will reach Sebastian Lake's level, but today is certainly not that day. That's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one.